Welcome to Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. It is time for another season of Inside Wofford Basketball with women's head coach Jimmy Garrity. The show, of course, brought to you by Yokohama. And long time no see. The men have been on the road all year. Yeah. You've had some home games. And, boy, Jimmy, it's, coming off the regular season championship last year, which I know is in the past. Nobody wants to talk about it. But you guys have really had a lot of, it's like assembling a whole new team. You've got a lot of newcomers. You're playing freshmen left and right. You've had some injuries that we'll get to, but right now you stand at 6-4.
Yeah.
How do you sum up the whole ball of wax so far?
I feel pretty. You talked about it a little bit, touched on that, the circumstances that we're under, and that 6-4 record is probably pretty good. There's a game in there that we'd like to get back if we could, but obviously you can't do that. But yeah, really pleased with our players and the progress they've made. And you're right, we were at practice the other day and we had 8 players be able to participate, and 5 of them were freshmen. So yeah, it's a lot of newcomers, a lot of new faces, but they're all great Wofford fits, and they're going to have exciting careers here.
I will say this: the assistant coaches, Mike, Trent, and Ashley, are probably in the best shape of their life because they've had to run all the drills because you don't have many players. So that's a side effect, a nice perk of having absolutely no bodies to practice with.
Yeah, it's been tough to go 5-on-5, and that's really, really important. And, sometimes I'll look over there and those guys are getting water and they're taking their time. I'm like, hey, guys, come on, we got to get back. We got to do some drills here. But they've been great, and, that's not the easiest thing to do. But whatever they can do to help the program out, they're obviously going to do it.
All right, when we come back, we will look at the first third of the season. We'll certainly talk about SoCon Player of the Year, Rachel Rose, and how she has really carried this team a little bit on her shoulders in the early going, and look forward to some really, really tough non-conference tests before Southern Conference play begins. It's all coming up next.
Black and gold. Bold. A victory story about to be told. Grit, toughness, and tenacity. A hub of hard work in Hub City. We're on these wins like dogs on a bone. In the zone. Our place, in your face, won't leave you alone. Strength, speed, fire, true. I'm sorry, do these things trouble you? We're Wofford College. We fly the W. Ingalls, proud partner of the Wofford Terriers.
Welcome back. Now, coming into this season, you and your staff, Jimmy, you had to deal with a couple things. First of all, you lose some great leaders. Jackie Carmen, Lily Hatton graduate, some others. And then you're faced with some injuries. Helen Matthews gets hurt in preseason practice. I know Libby Privet and players that you counted on, too. Yeah. And all of a sudden, the best laid plans on paper have to change when you're on the court. How did you deal with that in preseason?
Yeah, of course, you losing Jackie and Lily to graduation, all the leadership and, forget about how good they were on the court, but all those other things they provided to this team is missed. And the new ones we have in, we dealt with some injuries this summer. Helen had a knee injury. We had a transfer in, Mia Floor, who's going to be a really, really good player. I think it was like the second day that she was back on campus, tore hers as well, too. And then Libby, talk a little bit about Libby. Man, she was playing so well. And, of course, she had to sit out last year from an injury. And, just the enthusiasm that she brought, her competitiveness. And that one really was a heartbreaker because, again, she was playing lights out. That happened about the second week of practice. But life goes on. You have to adjust, and the things that we had in place that we thought we were going to play and run, you've had to dial that back a little bit.
And in the interim, while you're trying to sift through all that, thank goodness that you have the SoCon Player of the Year to kind of guide the ship a little bit. Rachel Rose has just picked up right where she left off, and she's got to be the focal point of every opposition's attack. How has she dealt with that? She's a great distributor of the ball. She leads you in just about every category right now. Do you ever worry sometimes that there's so much focus on Rachel that she gets worn down a little bit, or has she proven she can handle it all?
Well, she can handle it, maybe mainly because she's in fantastic shape and she's such a competitor. Her leadership that she brings us has been off the charts this year. Her and Helen were voted team captain, so from that standpoint, she's been great. But you're right, every team's focus is going to be her to start with in shutting her down, which just means that our other players have to step up. And Rachel is such an unselfish player. She has 50 assists already, I think, in 10 games, and so she's on track to do great things there. But again, she scores it. Yeah. She has to handle the ball.
She's rebounding.
Rebounding
7+ a game.
She's a stat stuffer. But her teammates don't want to let her down either. They're playing hard for her, and of course she would much rather dish the ball out and assist it than score it. But you know what? We need her to do both.
So you start the season off with a really hard-fought game at Wake Forest, and you only lose by 10, and you're in it right to the end. So that kind of gives us an inkling of what the potential could be. And then you win 3 straight at home. And these freshmen that you're relying on start to assert themselves. You've got Maddie Heiss, you got Evangelia Polk, you got Bana Tuilave, and I really hope I'm pronouncing all those right too.
Great.
But a freshman, that's a big ask sometimes to come in and start in Division I.
Yeah.
How have they dealt with that?
They've been great. I mean, they've been fantastic, and credit their teammates for that, and the assistant coaching, the coaching staff. But we've had talk with them, every few weeks, and we sit them down and. Because they, I think when they came in, everybody wants to play, right? Sure. But they didn't realize they're going to be playing 36 minutes a game. And so from that standpoint, you got to think at some point it's difficult just to come in as a freshman to get playing time and to get as much playing time as they're having. I think they've just dealt with it fantastic. And, we told them this is going to pay off for you down the road. And whether it's later in this year or next year or throughout her 4-year career, I mean, they're going to receive a lot of benefits from getting such early playing time.
You had a couple of bumps in the road. You played some pretty good teams there, High Point and Davidson, but then you bounced back to win 3 of your last 4.
Yeah.
Back in the UNC Asheville game, really, that was a hard-fought game, and maybe an indicator of how tough this team can be down the road.
Yeah. So that game in particular, Asheville's a great team. They're athletic. They're strong. They get up and down the court. They can score at all 3 levels. They guard you really, really hard. And that was, one of the games that we went into like, hey, we have to play our best effort in order to have a chance to win. And I was just so proud of the way we played, our toughness, the way we guarded and defended and rebounded, and we made enough plays down the stretch to come out on top.
And as much as we talk about the freshmen, it's nice to see some experience with Annabelle Schultz, with India Clark, who's only a sophomore. Now you're really relying on her and some other players. You may only have 8 or 9 bodies, but you're getting contributions from all of them, aren't you?
We are. And, Annabelle is one that typically she guards their best player, best perimeter player, and she has really thrived in that and really kind of taken that on as part of her role is to guard and defend. And, of course, she's a fantastic shooter, and you mentioned India Clark, and she's come up big, and I think she has a very bright future ahead of her too, and she's really relished in her role and guarding and rebounding, and then those points will come just off of that, and then she's taken that by the wing.
I don't want to leave Jere Smith out there either. She's come off the bench, and really anytime Rachel needs to catch her breath, as if Jere's there and gives you quality minutes certainly off the bench. When we come back, it's exam week. Jimmy and I don't have to take any, which is probably a really good thing, but we'll talk about what goes on during exam week. Terriers back on the floor at the end of the week, and then looking ahead to some really, really big Power 5 games, and then conference play. It's all coming up next here on Inside Wofford Basketball with Jimmy Garrity.
It doesn't matter if you're active on the road or in the gym. Your body is your strongest tool. Spartanburg Regional Sports Medicine Institute is here to push you to the next level. With partnerships across Spartanburg County schools, we're here when it happens. We diagnose, treat, and heal at the Sports Medicine Institute to get you back and active, in the gym, in the game, and to the next level. We never quit because you never quit.
Nothing beats the power of Ford Truck Month, because only one truck can be the best-selling in America for 46 straight years. Ford F-Series. Only one has best-in-class payload, best-in-class horsepower, and when you combine this legendary power with the latest technology, you get the only truck built Ford tough. It's Truck Month. Hurry in today for great selection in stock and ready for delivery. Now get 3.9% financing for 60 months plus up to $2,500 cash back on select F-150 trucks.
You can always count on the crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light, just like you can always count on Always Game Gary. No bar is too far. No wing sauce is too hot. Not for Gary. Gary is the man. He's nothing like Keith. Keith never wants to do anything. Why are we even talking about Keith? Always Game Gary is famous among friends. He deserves a Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back to Inside Wofford Basketball. All right, here's my question. The holidays are supposed to be a time where you relax, stuff your face, chill out a little bit. Who made up this schedule? I mean, my goodness, Virginia, Tennessee, and Georgia await the Terriers, and if you're going to be forged by fire, there's no better way to do it.
Yeah, that's quite a gauntlet we're going to go through here at the end of the week. And it's, when you try to put together the schedule, our exam week is typically a week later than other people's exam week. So, last week it was tough to get games because everybody else is in exams, and this week we're in exams. So it just happened to fall in place the way it is. And, I know our players, this is a stressful time for them right now during exam week. They're great students. They want to do well, and they're ready for their exam. So, but yeah, this weekend we'll travel to Virginia and then take a few days, and then we'll go to Tennessee and then come back for Christmas, and we got the Bulldogs down in Georgia.
Those are great stages to play on too. I know it's tough, and sometimes you're going up against very physically tough and much bigger teams, but they love this challenge. They love to be on, whether it's the SEC network or the ACC network. They know everybody can see their games. Their families like to come to these games. Yeah. It seems to me to always be kind of a net win for you.
I mean, the athletic competition, they're really, really good. But the tradition of all three of those schools is just top notch. And I think it's our players have a lot of fun playing in those.
Exam week. How do you treat that? Are they free and clear? Do they get into the gym on their own? When do you start locking down and getting back into organized practices?
Yeah, well, we took yesterday off. We practiced on Saturday, took yesterday off, and then today and tomorrow we'll just do individuals as their time allows. But also it's a good release for them to get out of the library a little bit and, hey, let's come sweat a little bit, get some shots up, and nothing strenuous, and then we'll find time on Wednesday to have a team practice on Thursday.
All right, final question for you. Southern Conference this year. You're not going to sneak up on anybody. You're the regular season conference champions. Everyone's going to be giving Wofford their A game when they play against the Terriers. What have you seen from the conference thus far, and have any truths become self-evident in terms of what kind of dogfight this is going to be?
It's as stronger than it's ever been. This year is as strong as it's ever been in women's basketball, and there's a lot of talented teams from top to bottom, and where it all shakes out, we're dealing with injuries, other teams will deal with injuries, and things are going to change throughout the year, and night in and night out, if you don't bring your best effort, you probably won't win.
Well, we have loved watching the effort so far. We know that the fun is just getting going, so enjoy the holidays. We will check back after you run the gauntlet when we get our conference shows in January, and as always, thanks for the time. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks to all of you for watching. Again, we will pick up Inside Wofford Basketball with Jimmy Garrity and men's coach Dwight Perry in January when Southern Conference basketball returns. Thanks, everybody.